Good morning. Take a moment with me to settle in before we start this morning. Take a deep breath. And let the silence all around us bring us to this very moment. Feel your heart space. Your belly rise and fall. Your heart open, soften, become more receptive. And your mind open. It is good, this moment. It is good. Good morning. I'm so happy to be with everyone. I know I can't see you, but I know that we are all one and all connected. So today, my topic is We Shall Rise. And I want to talk about the metaphysical meaning of Easter and how we can get inspiration from it. So my name is Frankie Timmers, and I am the spiritual director at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown in beautiful historic Morristown, New Jersey. We teach the science of mind philosophy, and if you'd like to explore our website, just go to www.cslmorristown.org. There's also a place for you to give, which we deeply welcome at these challenging times. Please interact with me. I may not respond right now, but I want to see you. I want to hear you. I want to know where you're from. I want to see if you have any questions, future topics. Use the bubbles at the below, whether you want to do a like or a heart or a smile or an angry. And let me know if you can relate or if you have an experience that you can relate to me. So let me get right into my talk. We shall rise. We shall rise. We shall. We live right now in a very magical time. About 1/3 of the entire global population, the Christian population, is now celebrating Easter today in a very different way than probably in a very long time. This is the largest religious group, so we honor them. They are one of the 3 Abrahamic religions. The others are the Jewish people who are in the middle of celebrating Passover, another symbol of greater yet greater freedom. And then our Muslim brothers and sisters who will be celebrating Ramadan in a week or so. from April 23rd to May 23rd, which is the commemoration when the Quran was first revealed to Muhammad. And it's a time of fasting, praying, reflecting, self-evaluating, and giving. And how interesting it is that all this is happening as spring is blossoming in our hemisphere and revealing its most glorious beauty. I am so noticing it and enjoying it and even bringing it inside a branch here and there. I think right now the lilacs are about to pop. So all of this really is about new beginnings. It's a new start. It may not feel that way, but this is a time of renewal. It is a time for us to rise up and to lift ourselves up and to become our very best self. That's not a one-time thing, it's a process. And so even in this time, with this pandemic raging all over the planet, it is a good time to reflect on what wants to be lived and what needs to be let go of. And so we that are alive, and those of you who are listening, are probably agreeing that this may very well be the worst thing we've experienced collectively. But if we look back, there are other things that we've experienced that were quite terrible, maybe more personal, and we got through it. Looking back, I look at the things that I've experienced that I thought were going to kill me, and they didn't. I grew from them. I became a better person because of them. I awakened to my own spiritual truth. And so this is what I know for sure. We shall rise. We shall rise. I love what Ernest Holmes says today in the Science of Mind magazine. I think you see a mirror image, but it's this month. It says the world is saturated with divinity, immersed in reality, and filled with possibility. Wow, I got to read that again. The world is saturated with divinity, immersed in reality, and filled with possibility. That's the truth. And that's true not just for the world or for others. That's true for all of us. And so we always rise. We do. We've seen this over and over again. We as human beings having a spiritual experience, or spiritual beings having a human experience, because it's both and, right? We are resilient. We are so much stronger than we think we are. We are so much more resourceful. And so we will, and we must, and we shall rise. However, yeah, there's a but. There's a however. It does require something of us. It requires a new way of thinking. It requires a new way of being, which happens when we're in a new way of thinking. And so the greatest message that the master teacher Jesus taught us, that we have embraced in the Science of Mind philosophy, is where it says in the Bible to some effect, because it's said in different ways, and it's probably in 6 different places in the Bible, that it is done unto you as you believe. It is done unto you as you believe. That is a high call. That is a big responsibility. That is a deep practice, a deep, powerful healing practice. I have a frog in my throat. It's a practice. And it requires of us that we look a little bit deeper, that we step away from what's happening on the surface, what we see on the surface, what we experience on the surface, and know that there is a deeper message, a deeper call, a deeper questioning available to us. And so it's a healing practice. It's a practice that we work with. What is it that I believe? What do I believe about this pandemic? What do I believe about my own health? What do I believe about other people? What do I believe about what's happening once this is over? Do I believe there will be a new normal? Actually, no. And so we know that what we believe is what we demonstrate. And if we are not happy with what we demonstrate, we have to take on a new belief, a new idea, one that serves us, one that we love, one that we can feel good about and proud about. And so we pay attention to the obstacles that we are experiencing to our own inner freedom, our own veil, our own stone that is blocking us. And so it has to begin in our own thinking, in our own mind. And it requires that we reflect and explore all the things that I just mentioned. So we look at what it is that we believe and we get honest about it. And we either change the belief with what it is that we want to experience, or we say, you know what, I don't want to change that belief. It's too much work. Then own it. Take responsibility for it. Accept it. And so what we learn in the Science of Mind teaching is that the human tendency is a limited way of thinking. Our tendency is to think in a limited way. That's because we have to use our consciousness, our mind, and our heart to expand our way of seeing, our greater way of being. And so it means that we have to practice noticing what we're noticing, looking at what it is that we're thinking, to use what we observe as a way to grow, as a way to transform, as a way to make new choices. And this is not so much a burden. It can be a joy. It can be a simple reflection of, oh, I've noticed I'm very judgmental. Do I want to change that? Not really. Or, yes, I do. Then what does it require of me? It requires that I become more loving with myself first. And so every moment and every experience has the potential to give us an opportunity for rebirth, for renewal, for a new way of seeing, a new way of feeling, a new way of knowing. And so we can be reborn by lifting the veil, opening the tomb, looking at what's blocking me and what do I believe about that. What's the prison that I have placed myself in by means of my thinking and my belief? And so we lift the veil of the human experience so that our spiritual experience is revealed, is informing us, becomes our guide, becomes our deeper knowing, becomes our default. Because we are here to awaken to our spiritual nature, to our own divinity, to our essence. And we are here to spiritually evolve. The Buddhists talk about reincarnation, and they talk about the reason they practice how they practice is so that they don't have to do it all over again. Not sure if we believe that or I believe that, but hey, it is an inspiration. There's certain things I do not want to experience again, so I am committed to transforming them. So we're here to rise up, to bring our very best. And each of us have a unique way, a unique gift, a unique talent. Some of us more quietly than others. But when we live that, we are healing. We are getting inspired. We are filling up on all that is good. The resurrection and renewal and rebirth is a powerful 2 letters. Because just means again, like recognition in the treatment step is to know again. So it's again and again and again and again until we master something. And so this is a beautiful time of renewal. Tune into Mother Nature. Tune into all the holidays that are being celebrated all over the world, all the prayers that are being done. Let them become yours. Let them become the ground of your being. This is not the first time you've done this. You've done this before. You know this. You know how it works. You know what to do. Call upon that aspect of you that is within you that already knows. That sometimes is stronger for other people than it is for ourselves. And I believe that we are programmed to rise up. We are programmed to resurrect. We are programmed to heal. We are programmed to be our best self. And so it is inherent. Call upon it more than calling upon the outer tools that we use sometimes to shift our attention. Call upon the inner. What is needed in you? What is needed by you? What is needed in the world that only you have to offer? Live it. Begin to live it, and it will get easier, and it will become second nature. What wants to be renewed? What wants to be birthed by means of you? And then surrender what's in the way. I know it sounds really easy. Just surrender whatever's in the way. Just let it go. But even surrendering and letting go is a practice and a process that we will probably have to do for the rest of our lives. But every time we do, we become more peaceful, more calm, more surrendered, more trusting. It strengthens our faith. And that's all we really have right now, right here. And so there's no better time than to live that, to practice what we know for sure, to surrender to the universal wisdom that is available everywhere for us right now. So for me, I find that I have an opportunity to let go of some things, to leave some things behind, whether it's stuff or whether it is a feeling or a belief. And so for me, I keep coming back to the idea that it's time to simplify my life again and to live in the present moment, because that's all I have is this moment. So I had some poetry come through for me, and I want to share this poem because it really shares a little bit more about where I am, what I'm doing, and how I am living this process. I've shared it already on Facebook, so you may have already seen it. But here it is. It's called Now. How many garments have not been worn? How many pieces of jewelry have remained untouched? How much makeup just sitting in a drawer? All those things I don't really need now. What if they just hide the real thing? The thing that matters most? How many more unread books needed for the already overflowing shelves? Let me read the one over and over until embodied and lived. What if only the one is really needed to stay inspired and uplifted? All that shopping that seemed to keep me fulfilled, all that time spent on devices that distracted me, all those lists of to-dos in my head for when I would have time, all those things that now matter little. What if they just hid an emptiness inside? The moments missed because I rushed. The kisses unsavored because of lists. The hoarding tendency to fill emptiness within. All those things now lost forever. They just don't matter so much anymore. Now I learn to simplify, needing less than I ever thought possible. Now aware, time is my most precious companion. Now I live with what matters most. Now I can savor and be with just what is, discovering a richness beyond worldly possessions. Now I make life sacred once again. Now I must rely on the real me. My changing human ego isn't so thrilled. The real me is. It's so full of grace. All that grace waiting to be lived. All the grace that is the real me. It's true for you as well, probably. So a couple of things I want to share with you, and then I will close with the healing spiritual mind treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. I would love for you to take a look on our website and to sign up for emails, because we have some things happening at our center and our sister center. We have classes coming up. Gail Belluardo, one of our licensed practitioners, is teaching self-mastery, emergence of the true self. How perfect. And it starts on April 27th. It's from 6:30 to 9 p.m. It's on Zoom, and it's 8 weeks. We have our emails, our phone, we have our meetup, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, website. So please check us out, www.cslmorristown.org. And if you feel so inclined to give and support us financially, we welcome it so much. We're so grateful for your generosity. So let me close with a spiritual mind treatment, and have a beautiful Easter, Passover, Ramadan, spring, and celebrating the goddess of nature, the goddess of fertility, the goddess Estrus. So join me right here, right now. There is a power and a presence that is greater than I am. Always has been, always will be. I can deeply rely upon it. So I listen to my heart of hearts. I notice what I notice, what wants to be brought into alignment with the truth of my very nature, my godliness, my divinity, my essential nature. And I trust that I have everything that I need to do this and to live my life filled with grace and love and peace and harmony. I easily and effortlessly let go whatever is in the way, and let the blessings fall upon me like cherry blossoms underneath a tree. Life is good. Life is always blessing me. The more I look for that, the more I experience it.